Hey everybody, Backpack Hack here coming at you with another trail tip. And this isn't going to be a tip for everybody. This tip is only going to work for certain people in certain circumstances. It works well for me because of my circumstances, and I'm going to let you decide whether it works for you. And that is, get yourself one of these. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, I got a first aid kit. Well, this is not an ordinary first aid kit. It's not for cuts and scrapes and splinters. It doesn't have bandages and antibiotics and gloves in it. This is a first aid kit that I've put together that takes care of more serious threats to your life, such as muggers and carjackers and crazy exes. Because this doesn't have bandages and antibiotics and a pair of gloves and tweezers in it. This has, in my case, my Glock 45. Now, I'm going to safe this because I do carry one in the pipe. I wanted a way to carry a firearm in my work truck because when I'm at work, even though I can lawfully carry, I'm in and out of customers' homes and businesses all the time. And I have to respect their desire of no firearms. I may not agree with it, but I have to respect it. So I don't want to start losing customers because I just wear a firearm into their home or business because it's my right to. They can legally and lawfully either ask me to leave or remove it. And of course, it's their choice to simply say, I'm not hiring this guy again. I don't want him in my house. So I have to respect that. So I get as good as I can as I carry this in my work truck. What I did was I went down to the store and was looking for a first aid kit that I could use as a stealth hiding spot for a firearm. And I carry this in my work truck. As you can see, I carry it with one in the pipe. I'm just one of those people who do. If you disagree, that's fine. You disagree. We just have to agree to disagree. What I did was I found the cheapest first aid kit I could find that would fit all this. Now, I originally wanted to carry just this. I just wanted to carry a firearm with a magazine in it. When I found this one and started working with it, it worked out really, really great because it does a fantastic job of doing what I want it to do. The only thing I had to do was add a towel. In here I've got a box of ammo, 50 rounds, as well as 2 more fully loaded magazines. So I'm ready to rock and roll when I'm on the road with my work truck. What I did was I took everything out of the first aid kit. There was a divider here and a couple dividers here. I took those out. There is one permanent divider here. And as I was doing this, I decided not to take this completely out. What I did was I simply made a notch here for the barrel and slide of the pistol. And it worked out really great. So I'm able to carry a full box of ammo. And I take this towel just to keep things from rattling around. And I can fold it up just right that it'll fit down in there. 2 magazines fit in this side compartment, just absolutely perfect. I can then take the firearm, and in this case this is a Gen 21 Gen 4, and the reloader even fits in here, and I can close this whole thing up, and I have what looks like a first aid kit. Now, I know some of you are going to say, but dude, what happens if somebody gets into your vehicle? Well, who's going to rummage around in a first aid kit? Who's going to steal a first aid kit? Nobody. Now, there is a possibility where I am injured and I send somebody out to my truck to get something out of the first aid kit. To prevent that from happening, what I've done is I keep this, and I have a full-size van as a work vehicle. This is actually just sitting on the floor down between the seat, and I have a file cabinet that sits between the seats. And then I have the headache rack behind the seats, between me and the cargo space of the van. And right here on the van is an actual functioning first aid kit. That has all the first aid stuff in it. So if I send somebody out to the truck to say, go get me a bandage or something like that, that's where they're going to get it from. They're not going to be rummaging around down here because I specifically tell them to look it up here. That's why this tip isn't for everybody. I certainly wouldn't want a family with kids having one of these float around their minivan or something like that. But for my situation, this works out just fine. One other thing I want to point out is this has a clear lid to it. You can see through it. And I contemplated a couple possible solutions. Although it does have a large sticker here, it doesn't completely cover it. So my first thought was, well, just get those large 8.5 by 11 labels for the printer, scan this, and reprint it. I don't think it would last as long as this because I've had this for 2 or 3 years now. The colors are still bright and vibrant. It's obviously that it's a first aid kit box. And if I did a label, I don't think I could get it that vibrant of a color. Plus, the ink would fade with sunlight and UV rays and the heat that builds up in my vehicle when it sits out in the sun. So that was the possibility, but I went with another idea. And what I did was, when I first bought the first aid kit, I took a photograph of the interior before I disturbed anything. Then I did my magic here inside. And then I formatted and sized that image that I took of the contents and printed it out and just simply taped it to the inside of the lid. So when this is all closed up, it actually looks like there's stuff back behind. And somebody who is not looking very closely may not realize, because I can read alcohol prep pad, first aid guide. It looks like you know, little packages of bandages and stuff here. So I think it's a good decoy, and it works well for me. I'm not saying it works because I can deploy it quickly. I mean, obviously I've got to reach down, be able to get it out, open it up, and like you saw, I carry one in the pipe, then bring it to bear on an assailant. It's not the ideal solution, but for my situation, it works out for me about as best as I can come up with. So anyway, that's the tip for the day, is possibly look at doing something like this. It doesn't have to be a first aid kit. You could do a tool kit or something like that. There's a lot of different ways to hide something like this, both in a vehicle, in a home, or business, something like that. But again, you want to make sure that whatever you're doing isn't going to be confused by somebody who will have access to this. You know, if you make it look like a tool kit and you've got somebody in your house or your business who is routinely looking for tools, oh, here's a tool kit, I need a screwdriver. Whoa, that's kind of cool. You know, you don't want to get into that. But for me, since I'm the only one in my vehicle, I don't have to worry about somebody just getting into this, because if somebody finds this, I've got a bigger issue than somebody finding my firearm. I've got somebody who's breaking into my truck. So anyway, that's the tip for the day. You might want to consider this. Like I say, it's not for everybody, but if you do this, you know, do it with a little bit of common sense. Maybe, hopefully, well, not hopefully, but if you ever come to use it, you'll have it available to you. So this is Backpack Hack coming at you with this trail tip. Be safe out there, and I'll see you out there on the trail. Before I put this back in my truck, I'm going to go ahead and put this all back together.